Ladies and gentlemen, broskies and broskets, welcome back to Long Island Iced Swift. I'm your host, Swift Rider.
Woo woo woo, you know it.
Oh, radio, tell me everything you know.
Now, normally I would just have one guest, but tonight is pretty different. Please welcome my guests, in plural, Evan Empire and Mason Phantom. What's up, guys?
Hey.
Alright, y'all ready to dive in the questions?
Yeah.
Alright, this one's for Mason. Question 1. I've known you both for quite a while, but I don't really know every 100% detail about you. So let's change that tonight. Mason, this one's for you. You've been in pro wrestling for some time now, but what was the fed that started it all for you? As in the fed that got your career really going?
First, I just went to a lot of bid card feds that the person who introduced me to pro wrestling, Falco, went to, like RCW. But then I eventually got into NGW, which at the time was
an indie fed, yeah.
Yeah, one of the biggest NGW, one of the biggest indie feds at the time. Like, that's all I could say about it. Now that it's dead, it's kind of like, oh.
Dead. Okay. Alright. This one's for Evan. Evan, this is your question. Now, tonight you're on my podcast, and usually I interview people somewhat known, but you two have been in the indies for your entire career, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. When are you hoping to make a name for yourself and finally debut in the majors?
I mean, I enjoy sticking into the indie background because it's somewhere where I can have reputation, but talking about high card feds, I don't plan on going to higher card mainly because it's not what I suit. But I plan on soon, but I don't know when.
Okay, so I respect that. Alright, Phantom, listen to this. You're currently in the stable known as KO Squad, and you've won many tag titles across the indie community. But were you ever expecting to tag or work with someone such as the members in the KO Squad?
I was, at the point of NGW, which was when I first got into KO Squad, I never thought I was going to be working with anyone of their level. I thought, best case scenario, I could get a tag team with Falco, and he'd carry me the entire way.
All right.
But instead, I met these great bunch of guys, Adrian, AWS, you, EMR, just everybody. And it was just, I really think that I'm going to be working to get more tag titles and make the rest of KO Squad proud.
Yeah, it was your big break. Yeah, I see that. Evan, so there's been a lot of controversy going on in Twitter between you and my previous guest, GTW, but have you ever been in any major beef in the past with anyone else? If so, tell us about it.
This one kind of deals with my previous fed that I owned. I wouldn't necessarily say it's one person, but it was a fed known as OCW. Some of you may know Mr. Army.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. So I had Armenia, and he offended the Fed, and me, I don't take offensive things easily, so I didn't let it slide, and it ended up causing a week, probably, I'd say, of just tweeting back at each other, saying argument and shit. Oh, sorry, if I curse.
Yeah, no, that's alright.
Yeah, and so basically it become back and forth, and then some of the roster came to us, and then our roster went to them, and it was just a back and forth thing, and it was pretty much.
Okay, yeah.
I guess you could say they rated us. I wasn't expecting it, and I kind of let them hit us. But yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So regular raids, some regular wrestling drama on Twitter. Yeah, I see that.
Yeah.
Mason, my man, so we've been friends for some long time now, but I've always wondered about this. How did you come to create your gimmick and its details about it?
Well, it was me, Falco, and someone called Vicious Django. He's pretty popular, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
And we were hanging out at the old Gym of Tragedy when Falco was a moderator at the time. I think he still is.
Nah, I don't think so.
Sitting there, we were, maybe, I have no clue, honestly. We don't talk that much, but we were just sitting there at the Gym of Tragedy, just talking about my career. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna start going to NGW more and get more active and train. And Falco was like, well, you're going to need a gimmick. And I'm like, oh, yeah, I guess you're right. So we brainstormed for a bit, and it was like, okay, what do you want it to be? I was like, obviously, I want it to be a heel because I just, felt like it.
Okay.
And I wanted it to be, because at the time, and I still don't watch a lot of WWE or wrestling in general. So I didn't want my gimmick to be based off of someone in WWE. Probably butcher it. Like I wasn't going to use a Balor or something like that.
Yeah.
I just wanted to make my own gimmick about
Really?
some random shit. And I was like, okay, I'll make it Mason Phantom because Mason was one of my old childhood nicknames, and Phantom because my username was phantom1099.
Okay.
The theme I got from Vicious Django, who is Falco's friend, and he was very kind because it was his old theme.
Yeah, I remember
Have
hearing
it
that once or
and just
twice.
use it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
One of the best themes that I think I've heard in a long time. That's something from like an indie person that isn't. And the final parts, the Trons, I don't really use them anymore due to a lot of new feds and like migrating around.
Yeah.
And those were, which was made by, it was just like a stock photo image because I couldn't find anyone who would actually make me one. And then Falco made me a really great main Tron gimmick. If it had to be described as like a person, it'd probably just be arrogant.
Okay. Yeah.
That's all I can really
Arrogant
say about
regular
it.
hero. Yeah, I
Because
see
it's
that. Okay.
changing. I'm gonna be adapting it whenever I can. Like story change and whatnot may change it. Who knows? And I'm thinking of making a new gimmick, which will next month. So stay on the look for that.
All right. So this is for both of y'all combined. So we're running out of time here, but before KO Squad, were you two ever thinking about running in a singles career before joining KO?
I'll start off with the
Okay.
answers.
Okay.
So before I joined KO Squad, singles career, I thought about it while in it, but beforehand, no, because actually I joined KO Squad around my third day of pro wrestling, and I've stuck to it since like I've joined. So yeah, I don't think I've ever thought about going to singles.
Well, with myself, I like to think that I'm still a big part of the singles, scene. It's just that people are putting me into the tag scene a lot.
Okay.
But when I first originally joined Pro Wrestling, I never even thought a tag team, no, or like a squad, no, it's not gonna happen. I'm not gonna join a stable or something, unless it was a stable that I created, of course. But at the time at NGW, I was working on singles titles. I was working on everything. I was good that I wasn't even placed in a WRE when I first joined NGW. WRE was the developmental fed of NGW, for anyone who wants to know. And I pretty much just skipped it. The reason why I did have to go back was because after a while I started to deteriorate because I stopped training that raw potential I had, which is kind of where I am right now, is trying to rebuild everything. In my first ever title match, it was against you, I'm pretty sure. It was against The Swift Arrow.
The Swift Arrow. Hey.
Which at the time was The Swift Arrow, a big name.
Hashtag writer. Let's go.
International title maybe, or the internet title, something like that.
It was I think it was the WRE TV title.
Well, didn't you hold a title in NGW, like an actual NGW title at one point?
No, man, I never even made it past WRE.
I guess it was for the WRE TV title. Yeah. But anyways, that was the first ever title I went for, and I was like, whoa, this is a title match? I've never had one of these before. Droid, the spin.
Yeah.
Just completely destroyed me. It was like, at that point I was like, whoa, that's not okay. I don't want that to happen anymore. I should start training again. And so I did. And then KO Squad noticed me and was like, hey, you should come with us and we'll help you get better. I was like, okay. And then I was kind of thrust into the tag title scene. KO Squad business. But honestly, I don't care. Like, if I'll hold a tag title on the side, as long as I can get a main title at the same time,
Right, yeah.
I'm fine.
Double tasking. Yeah, I see you. I see you. Alright. So next question. So there's been a lot of drama on Twitter. So why don't you let us know? Why don't you let us know on what's going on with the whole GTW thing? I prefer not to ask a question about this because that'll be too vague. The floor is yours, guys.
I'll start off this time because I kind of started this.
Go ahead.
And suddenly, Pun, he goes up, he messages me. He's like, "Hey, did you see the new podcast that happened?" I was like, "No, I didn't see it yet because I didn't have my notifications on because so I had gotten home and I was like, okay." And so I watched it and I was like, "Look, there's a lot of stuff that GTW said about me, Pun, and like GTW. I mean, in Evo Pro, that was just not true." First off, he said that there was some management issues and that it's all been fixed. He made it worse by just putting it under the carpet. Because what happened was, I went to a show of Evo Pro, thinking I was bored. I was like, okay, I'll give Evo Pro a shot. The time was CM Punk instead of GTW, which is normal. A lot of people do have like GMs and stuff.
Yeah.
And so what happened was I messaged him. I was like, you know what? I want to make Evo Pro better. I'll join. I'll help you rebrand. I can probably maybe help build. I can host. It'll be great. We can maybe make Evo Pro great again the first time, but I had to be nice about it. And then running for a while, I Pun, of course, and he took the role of head builder, head scripter, pretty much head dev in general, and I took the place of general manager. I took over CM's spot, ranking CM as dev now or even main eventer. He left him as GM and left me as dev, even though in the Discord he had officially stated that I was the GM. And we told GTW about this. It took him like a week until he was like, "Oh, okay." And then he changed the group ranks, and he told CM Punk again that I'm the actual GM, of course. And he was just like, "Oh yeah." And CM on a brand new from scratch arena. I'm almost done with it, and we just didn't have the time to work on it the whole way. We were almost done, and CM puts in a bunch of free models. Notorious for this because he does this all the time. He did it with the previous arena that we had not built together, arena he was building, and pretty much all of the Evo Pro arenas in general were either from Fort, like leaked arenas from Fort, stuff like that. I don't think that is quality. That's not quality. If you're using free models, it's not quality. And one time, this is the most heard, was CM Punk said, technically, everything on Roblox, including bricks that you hand make in the Roblox developer, free model. That's the most idiotic thing I've ever heard. And I'm going to let Pun take over because he knows a lot more about the management stuff.
Okay.
All right, yeah. So, following from what Phantom said, the management was very, I guess you could say, out of hand. There was too many people who weren't even doing anything. They were just there for, I guess, show. And I came to Evolution Pro because Phantom came there, and I usually work with him, and then I wanted to help out, rebrand it. And I saw in the last podcast how with him and Tam, whatever his name is, apparently GTW is getting fame. That's not what I'm trying to say here. What I'm saying here is that Evolution Pro can't do anything, really. And I tweeted out something saying, I can't build nor script, quoting that by GTW, because that is what he said. And that's something you should be learning if you are a Fed owner. And CM Punk didn't really do anything besides scratch off our work, do poorly, And there was an incident where he had an anti-auto clicker that only went like 15 clicks per second, and every time you clicked, it would count as auto clicking, which was horrible because that was like their big pay-per-view that we tried to work on, but again, our work was just scratched off. And then, sorry, I got distracted there. I don't know, I forget, but yeah, pretty much our work was basically just ripped off, and CM Punk tried taking orders in his own hand, and basically Phantom and I were useless, and yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I see y'all. Alright, guys, that's all we have for tonight. Thank you guys so much for being on the podcast tonight. Take care and spike your hair. I'll see y'all next time, alright? Alright.
Yeah.
As for you guys watching this video, drop a like on this video, take that subscribe button in for a rough ride, and I'll see you guys on the next podcast. This has been Long Island Ice Swift. Swift signing out.
Woo!